Abusia Micha na Misa so emo akwa ba emre channel so abusia ha da so aye be media GH abusia Alexander AfenyoMarkins na aba abonten na omo say o chene semu at this time there chese omo de omo beko Nsawam hwan na de AfenyoMarkins mo ebeko Nsawam abusia efa Kpandai MP ho abusia this time round no declare no constituency said there should be an election rerun no abusia high court temale high court ruling na omo edebaye no ade a AfenyoMarkins nsem bi atudwa ochene semu the judge is doing his paymaster's job. Yes, na abusia sansemu ya omo say Alexander atudwa na say on interview bi a say akoso no mo chomo semu a say Alexander AfenyoMarkins ka say the judge is doing his paymaster's job and then it's best say AfenyoMarkins etumi ekọ the General Legal Council no enko prove the facts. Now sometime ago na ya de Alexander AfenyoMarkins one ni enya issue a ono na say go to court until this time round no why not Alexander AfenyoMarkins going to court? Yes abusia we dey ma make kasa wan pese ekọ ne koti nsem no mu akasa enchire mu adekwantia say omo chomu nsem say Alexander AfenyoMarkins ebia na owo fact ewo ho so owo fact ewo ho dey and the best thing say okọ court na say omo ekohwe asem no yi na omo eka ne yi ewo court abusia we dey ma make kasa wan pese ekọ ni etie ensem no mu akasa enchire mu se na ebe ya abusia ye bete ase yi ha eda so ye be media jecha abusia be se wa se ene de kawani etwa channel so abusia be se wa se be subscribe to our YouTube channel no obo notification bell no so for more podcast update yanko ne kwoti adokwanti a Alexander AfenyoMarkins minority leader eka say this time round no so omo fa omo ekọ Nsawam na say omo are ready so omo beko Nsawam yentie omo nsam ne ba sesi a
democracy. Is it insinuating? Let's hear AfenyoMarkins what he had to say, and that's the point of disagreement.
The judiciary must know that their actions and inactions to serve the interests of whoever their paymaster is has the tendency of destroying our peaceful republic. We will not mince words. They can conspire to call us one by one for a so-called contempt of court. We are criticizing their shameful conduct. We are not afraid. We are ready to be in Nsawam for their so-called contempt. The sad part of it is that the NDC candidate and his supporters were aware of the judgment before the day, to the extent that on the day of the said judgment, the regional minister led a team of NDC party faithfuls into the courtroom, anticipating the expected result.
So typically, if any ordinary lawyer makes these statements, they will be on the way to.
Should be on his way to the General Legal Council.
Say that again. Say that again.
I said he should be on his way to the General Legal Council, not because he's a minority leader, but because he's a lawyer. And he scandalized himself in his profession.
What if he has facts? What he has facts about the judge being paid.
So he goes there to show the facts. The facts will be his defense. He goes there to produce the facts as defense. But he can't scandalize the courts in the way he has done. As a lawyer, he can't do that. And he's a lawyer. So that's what you should understand. And secondly, I'm scandalized by the arguments of Ajapamesa. He's a lawyer. And that is the court of first instance, for God's sake. The decision is the court of first instance. And in the election petition, the decision ends at the Court of Appeal. And Martin Yindang has told everybody in Ghana that he's appealed against the decision. He's appealed the decision to the Court of Appeal. So why can't you wait and argue your case in the Court of Appeal? And he seems to have lost what happened in our recent history. How can you sit on TV and say that you can go to court and ask And I mean, the court will give you what you have not asked for, and that will never happen. It happened. AfenyoMarkins went to court for an interim injunction to restrain the speaker from declaring the seat vacant. He was given a perpetual injunction. He was given a perpetual injunction. What are you saying, Adepa Mensah?
What did you say? Did you say that was allowed? That was okay?
Was it not?
What I'm saying that he didn't ask for it. Even AfenyoMarkins did not ask for a perpetual injunction.
Exactly. So you faulted the court for that, did you not?
I'm saying that he went to court to ask for an interim injunction. That's the argument. And he was given what he did not ask for.
And my question is, what did the NDC say? That judgment was procured by...
The proposition that you can go to court. The proposition that you can go to court and be given what you have not asked for, it cannot happen.
But is it not curious? That you have a petitioner who goes to court?
But I wrote that. I was like,
over 41 polling stations. As I understand, the 41 polling stations will give you a total of about 500 votes or so. I don't know if I get my figures correct about that. You would know. And the difference in the win between him and Yindam will be about 1,600. So if you faulted the 500, votes, it doesn't do anything. How do you go to nullify the whole results? That's the question.
So again, Samson, we must await the decision of the court, the written judgment of the court. But I worked in Kpandai. Before the elections and on the election day. And the collation center, which has been gazetted, was moved without notice to the petitioner, the party who petitioned in court. So you have to understand, you have to read the whole judgment to understand the thinking. But be it as it may, what I'm saying is that as lawyers, we know that the High Court's decision is a decision of a court of first instance. And an election petition doesn't end at the High Court. It ends at the Court of Appeal. And there are many cases, and in the Dr. Yakubu's case that they cited, I was involved in that case. The court used a mathematical formula to arrive at a decision that Dr. Yakubu was not validly elected as MP. The Court of Appeal reversed the decision and condemned the decision of the High Court. So you cannot run ahead of the total, determination of the matter. And that is why Speaker Bagman, keenly aware that the Court of Appeal, the High Court, is not the final court in an election petition, said Yindam cannot lose his seat until the Court of Appeal listens.
No, that's not what Bagwin has said. Bagwin has said that the attempt to prevent Yindam from being in the House without waiting for the statutory 7 days of stay after a judgment is wrong.
But to be fair,
that's what Bagwin said.
Speaker
that's
added
what Bagwin said.
Yes, he added, if you may, he added that the filing of the motion
appeal
for stay pursuant to the appeal could extend that 7-day statutory.
but
he said so. I was listening to him.
Samson,
no,
but Samson, you know that even if a decision of a court is given statutorily and by practice and convention of the judiciary and of lawyers, we do not execute the judgment until after the expiration of 7 days.
Yes,
we know that, and we do that for good reason. Secondly, he's filed a stay of execution. Yes, the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court have said that a stay of execution does not operate as a stay of the execution of the judgment. So the High Court, or in fact, you have to file it in the High Court.
Okay.
The High Court will have to pronounce on it.
All right.
then we know that the final court in an election petition is a court of appeal. So why will we run ahead of time?
Right.
So we can't criticize the decision of the High Court.
Thank you. But you will agree. You will agree that what the minority sought to do in Parliament was wrong. The very day the judgment is given, you are saying the man should not sit in the House, when by law there is automatic stay of the judgment for 7 days.
That's theatrics. That's Parliament. That's theatrics. But because the one who was saying so is also a lawyer, and he knows it. So that's theatrics.
But lawyers can get it wrong. Thank you very much. Yes, Susan.
But Samson, you should know that, I mean, if you are in Parliament and there is a decision annulling your elections, you will take steps to ensure that you vindicate your position and your election. And so that will try to take steps to vindicate the position that he was validly elected.
Okay.
And we
thank you. Let's give Susan the opportunity to also say something.
Yes. Good thing I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have long talk to do.
Exactly.
But I think that, like they have said, the speaker was on the right path. But 1st December will come and it will elapse, and so Honorable Yindam needs to prepare for a by-election.
He has filed an appeal and coupled that with a stay of execution. But the stay of execution, once it's served, it acts like you can't do anything until that has been determined by the Court of Appeal, by the High Court, and perhaps also by the
So maybe we will do it as quickly as we've done. I mean, in the past, we had electoral issues that took 4 years, and, Rebecca, whatever, had to have a name expunged. Now it's taking 11 months. Maybe this will take, even shorter, and it will go through. I think that our leaders need to watch their language and their posture. I think that the language of the minority leader was terrible, and that is not the way we want to see our leaders behave. You said he was under pressure, maybe coming from the issues in terms of the ECOWAS court, but it shows your true nature. Look, I mean, if you are an orange and you are squeezed, you get orange juice out. You understand? And so if for a leader, you cannot stand pressure, and this is the kind of language that you do because you are under pressure from other folks, it doesn't speak well of our leaders and of leadership. And I think that is not the time for leaders to do these kind of things. I mean, it
Susan.
Definitely is not leadership
thank you, Susan.
material to be doing that.
Ken says, my concern is a lambasting the whole judiciary for the sins of a single judge. If this is even true, do not let anybody use a single court interchangeably with the judiciary. And a lawyer on the panel supports this. Bobo.
I agree with him.
My outfit, as always, is by Habil Scruter. Check on the... So if you are looking for your dream home, that is where it starts. It's a 3-day fair, and it's ongoing at the Kumasi City Mall. The Lands Commission is on site. Get your land documentation sorted, quick and easy. ECG is also on site. You need a meter, got billing issues, walk in, walk out, problem solved. Republic Bank is ready. Whether it's financial support or the best mortgage deals, they've got you covered. And don't miss the DBS Roofing's Bosu Free promo. Pay only for the roofing. The installation is absolutely free. So please, listen to my invitation. This is obviously, call it a Black Friday event. Visit the Republic Bank Love FM Habitat Fair at the Kumasi City Mall today and tomorrow to enjoy all of these happening right there in Kumasi. So now let's go to Kpandai, because there's some problem brewing there. The person who lost the elections, NDC's candidate, he was previously the one who held that seat, and he won it by about 52% or so. and Matthew Yindam at the time managed about 40-something, percent of the votes then. Now, in 2024, Matthew Yindam turns things around, and he wins by 53% plus, and this candidate doesn't make it. So he goes to court. Of course, that's the right place to go. He goes to court. I'm talking about Daniel in Salah Wakpa. He goes to court complaining that something went wrong. Something went wrong. As many as 41 of the polling station votes or so, he feels were tampered with. And the court gave a decision called bench ruling. So as we speak, there's no judgment. All of us can read to understand how the court arrived at the decision. But it's allowed. So the court gave a decision and said the election verdict was tainted, and therefore by irregularities, and therefore it's been invalidated. 30 days, there must be a rerun. He went to Parliament and a fight began to ensue. Let's begin to look at that issue. Yes, you are in Parliament, you are familiar with these things. How do you appreciate what happened?
Well, I mean,
what is happening?
Myself and my brother Messi will say this is a usual thing. I mean, you go to election, you win or you lose. And if you lose and you have a very strong objection, you object, you go to court, which is the right place to go, rather than maybe try to create a confusion at the polling station and sometimes get people lose their life. So that's the right thing to do. And instances we've seen where the court at the High Court will agree with you, but the person that you usually will appeal. And I've seen Honorable Dr. Al-Hassan in, I think, after the 2004 election, had a challenge. Yes, I think so, yes, had a challenge. The court, the same Tamale, ruled that the place should be run again, but he appealed. I mean, so graciously, the same rule applies. That time it was Honorable Sachi Hughes. So allowed the appeal. And when the appeal came, it went back to Dr. Akubu that no, the decision of the High Court was wrong. So he stayed as a member of Parliament till he finished. Also, one that I can also remember vividly was Honorable Dan Abadapi, when he was sentenced and after the 2005 election, between 2005 and 2007, he was jailed for causing financial loss. He appealed, and during the process of appeal, the seats kept waiting until, unfortunately, the matter couldn't be even determined till it was election again. Well, it was never conclusive till it was election again. So there was no rush to replace it. So I would say, as a member of Parliament who have been in the House for over 2 decades, we've seen this again and again and again. I've cited example from our side, where I mentioned Honorable Dan Agwadapi and Honorable Dr. Alasan Yakubu from Miao when this thing happened. There are so many others that happened where the High Court makes ruling, you go to the appeals court, and sometimes they the decision of the High Court is turned down. We don't know.